Posted in December of 2017, this unsettling footage captures a moment that still has viewers scratching their heads. A young blonde woman approaches the doorbell camera, moving with a strange, almost hesitant energy. At first glance, it looks like she's doing it on a dare. Her hands raised awkwardly, her body language stiff, as if she knows she's being watched. She turns her head to the right, staring at something, or someone, just out of frame. Then, without explanation, she retreats, pacing around the porch like she's waiting, or stalling. Moments later, she steps forward again, but what she does next is far from normal. The woman leans in close, opens her mouth unnaturally wide, and bites the camera. You can actually hear the teeth scrape the device before she calmly steps back, expression unchanged, as if nothing strange just happened. She lingers for a few seconds, completely unfazed, and then begins stretching and moving her body in bizarre motions, like she suddenly decided this stranger's doorstep was her personal workout space. I mean, getting in your daily exercise is one thing, but doing it in the middle of the night, on someone else's porch, after biting their security camera? Yeah, something about this is way off. This chilling, unsolved CCTV clip captures something that feels straight out of a true crime nightmare. In the dead of night, a lone man appears on the stairwell, struggling to drag something heavy down the steps. As he rounds the corner, the object finally comes into view, a large, bulky black bag. The kind no one wants to see being moved at this hour. While he hauls the bag out of frame, someone working late at the office spots him. That witness is most likely the reason this footage was saved, and eventually handed over for investigation. For over 40 minutes, nothing happens. The hallway stays still, quiet, empty. Then the man returns. At the 42-minute mark, he repeats the exact same disturbing ritual, dragging another oversized black bag down the stairs and out the door. If you pause at the 10-second mark, you get a clearer view. It looks like a garbage bag, but filled with something far too heavy to be trash. I really hope this wasn't what it looks like. 2 bags. Late at night, a guest who leaves with them and never comes back. Maybe there's an innocent explanation, but staring at this footage, I'm struggling to think of one. This isn't your typical hanger-on moment. Not when it happens deep inside a forest like this. In the first clip, everything seems normal. A 5-man crew, all clearly accounted for, just filming and going about their business. But then the second video rolls, and suddenly, there's a 6th person, someone who shouldn't be there. He's standing in the background, barely moving, just watching. And the way he lingers between the trees feels wrong. Like he's trying to blend in, but doesn't really know how to act human. Who is this guy? Is he part of the crew? Or is he some stranger silently following them through the forest without their knowledge? Either way, something's off. Even if he is with the team, they might want to keep an eye on him. Because the way he's acting, yeah, bizarre is putting it lightly. Jay Duncan is at home with his wife and daughter when something outside catches his attention. A stranger, someone he's never seen before, is standing on the porch in rough shape. The man is pacing, twitching, and carrying on a rapid conversation with absolutely no one but himself. He can't stay still for even a second. For a full minute, Jay watches silently from behind the door. And then the stranger finally notices him.
funny when you're on the other side. Joke, huh?
Close the door, James.
Sorry. Get your brother.
Close the door.
The man's first instinct? He lunges straight for the door handle. I can only imagine what might have happened if that door hadn't been locked. Instead, the intruder throws his hands up in frustration, almost offended that a family dared to secure their own home. He starts barking threats, speaking in angry bursts, demanding to be let inside. At one point, he basically says he's done playing games, whatever that's supposed to mean. Jay and his family quietly laugh him off from behind the safety of the door until the man suddenly gives up, walks off the porch, and climbs into a surprisingly nice truck before driving away. And that's the part that makes this even stranger. If he has a truck, a warm, safe place to go, then why was he so desperate to get into their house? Was this some kind of mistaken identity? Was he confused, thinking he was at his own home? I hope that's all it was, because if he really didn't know where he was, who's to say he won't come back in the middle of the night and try that door again? When Jay and his family are asleep? The Everything Paranormal show decides to jump into the Randonautica craze, but with a paranormal twist. He sets out specifically hoping for something creepy, and the app wastes no time delivering. Randonautica sends him to a random address, so he parks and waits.
All right, guys. These apartments are not really known exactly for this is not a good place. Exactly. So, in fact, people are already coming out, eyeballing me. It's already getting kind of creepy. Dude's checking me out, getting ready to come over here. So, probably need to roll on with something here, check something else out. So, we've got, like I said, this dude's checking me out.
Expecting maybe a weird noise or a strange coincidence. But what he gets is much worse. Out of nowhere, he notices someone standing near his car. Not walking, not approaching, just standing there, completely motionless, staring straight at him. Now, to be fair, what he sees as a creepy stranger could just be someone wandering around the lot or guarding their parking spot. But even when he drives away, the man doesn't budge. He just stands there like a statue, staring at everything and nothing at the same time. There's unsettling, and then there's whatever that was. A stranger in a hockey jersey shows up at the door, demanding to be let inside. Would you open the door for him? Published by Sam Maloney in May of 2022, this Ring doorbell footage captures every unsettling second. After being dropped off by a white car, which drives away almost immediately, the man climbs the stairs and rings the doorbell repeatedly. Then he starts talking.
Someone let me in. Let me in. Let me in.
His voice is strange, raspy, almost frog-like. He growls at the door, muttering low phrases that are impossible to fully understand but unmistakably threatening. That's when Alexa speaks up.
Let me in.
This is Alexa. What is the purpose of the visit?
I require entry.
Sorry, I cannot help you with that.
Asking him what his intentions are. And his response? Let's just say it doesn't make anyone feel safer. After demanding to be let in, The man suddenly steps out of view. But here's the disturbing part. He never walks back down the stairs. He doesn't leave the porch. He just vanishes from the camera's line of sight. So, where did he go? Did he try a side window? A back entrance? Or did he find a blind spot and stay much closer than anyone realized? We're left with more questions than answers, and none of them comforting. A YouTuber who goes by the Modern Mombi is quietly sipping her coffee while pumping gas when she notices something unsettling. A man standing nearby, watching her as she gets back into her car.
But that guy keeps kind of like looking over at the pump, kind of like peering around. And see, there he goes again. It's creepy. And my doors are locked. I'm fine. Believe me when I say I'm very capable of defending myself. I'm not.
At first, she brushes it off. Maybe it's nothing. But then she sees him looking again, and this time, it's unmistakable. She starts recording, probably hoping the camera will make him back off or feel embarrassed. Instead, he looks directly into the lens and smirks. It's not a friendly smile. It's the kind of expression that sends a chill up your spine, especially when you have no idea who this person is. Maybe he thinks he recognizes her. But if that were true, why just stare? Why not say something? The whole interaction feels rude, invasive, and deeply suspicious. And honestly, the camera might be the only thing stopping him from doing something even more intrusive. Eventually, the man gets into his car and drives away. But that's when she notices something that makes the situation even worse. She's wearing her work uniform, meaning he now knows where she works and might show up again. Have you ever had a night stalker? Andrew J. Neese has, and he caught the whole thing on video. Published in May of 2011, this chilling footage shows a man in a black hoodie standing outside Andrew's bedroom window, just staring. Andrew is on an upper floor, yet the stranger is perfectly positioned below, looking straight up at him like he's been waiting there all night. In the description, Andrew explains that the audio cuts were done intentionally because he was giving the 911 operator his personal information and didn't want it online.
Minutes now, and male, maybe about, I don't know, maybe about 30, I guess.
Especially not with this guy lurking outside. During the call, Andrew tells the dispatcher that the man has been standing in the alley for over 30 minutes. Not moving, not speaking, not doing anything except staring directly at his window from the middle of the road. The comment section was understandably horrified. Some people suggested opening the window and asking what he wanted, but honestly, I'm not sure that's the safest idea when someone is behaving this unnervingly. What happened after the recording ends is unknown, and that might be the most disturbing part of all. Most intruders take one look at a security camera and immediately think twice. But Jason Chekhov believes the exact opposite, that this particular intruder was drawn to his house because of the camera, hoping to steal it and flip it for cash if he could get away fast enough. At the 9-second mark, there's no denying it. The intruder snaps his head toward the lens with a sudden, sharp movement. The stare is direct, intentional, almost confrontational. It's so abrupt that some viewers think the whole thing is staged, that the fully covered figure is actually Jason himself trying to farm views. But if this were fake, the lengths this person goes to in order to force their way inside make absolutely no sense. First, the intruder wedges one arm under the other and tries to pry the door open with brute strength. When that doesn't work, they switch tactics, giving the glass 3 heavy elbows, the kind you only throw when you're desperate to get in. And then comes the worst attempt of all. They try to pinch and lift the window with their bare fingers, and you can actually hear the fingernails snap back with a sickening crack. It sounds painful, the kind of mistake no one would willingly fake just for attention. That's the thing. I really doubt Jason would risk shattering his own window, or injuring himself, just to put on a show. But then again, with the internet, you never know. Still, judging by the force, the frustration, and the genuine pain caught on camera, this looks a lot more like a real break-in attempt than a stunt. A YouTuber named Sonia Set is filming a simple vlog about her day. Nothing unusual, just life updates and a quiet Sunday afternoon. She decides to take a break and rest at a park. Big mistake. Almost immediately, you can spot something off in the background. A man positioning himself perfectly just outside of her line of sight. The angle is so precise that he could walk up behind her and Sonia wouldn't see a thing until it was far too late. He keeps his attention locked in her direction, watching her while pretending to be casual. When Sonia finally senses something is wrong and gets up to leave, the man doesn't budge. He stays facing her, long after she's gone. His arms folded calmly behind his back, standing there like he has every right to be watching her that closely. It's the kind of behavior that makes your stomach drop. Creepy, calculated, and way too intentional to ignore. If this guy's behavior doesn't make you say, bruh, I honestly don't know what will. A doorbell camera captured a very unusual visitor one night at around 10 p.m. TikToker LENTHIN shared the footage, and it's unsettling from the very first second. A woman approaches the porch and just stands there. She doesn't knock. She doesn't ring the bell. She simply stands in silence, breathing loudly enough for the microphone to pick it up. In her hand, she clutches a large bag. A bag full of who knows what. And after a long, uncomfortable moment, she turns and walks away without a word. No explanation, no reason, no attempt to be noticed, which somehow makes it even worse. Would this terrify you? Because it definitely terrifies me. If someone stood at my door like that without ringing, without speaking, just breathing, I don't think I'd ever open that door the same way again. Most security cameras record endless hours of nothing. Wind, shadows, the occasional stray animal. But every once in a while, they catch something like this. Published in September of 2013, YouTuber Rainy Schooler shared footage captured on a cold, wet night deep in the mountains, far from any busy road and with no neighbors anywhere close. The security camera is pointed straight into the wilderness. There's a single tree on the right side of the frame, and beyond that, absolute darkness. Then, out of nowhere, a woman steps into view. She walks into the center of the shot, stops abruptly, and turns her upper body without moving her feet, like her head and torso are operating independently from the rest of her. Then she continues forward, only to take a sudden, unnatural right turn and vanish off-screen. The footage jumps ahead about 45 seconds. The woman appears again, this time winding around the tree in a strange, aimless pattern. She moves in the same odd start-stop fashion, pacing, pausing, twisting, staring into the blackness of the wilderness as if she's searching for something, or listening to something we can't hear. Another camera captures her approaching the house. She moves out of view along the side of the home, and no one knows what she did there. Moments later, she drifts back into frame, staggering around the same lonely patch of forest behind the tree. She does this for 10 full minutes. Some commenters think she had to be under the influence of something. But out in the middle of nowhere, in the freezing dark, with nowhere to come from and nowhere to go? I'm not so sure. Whatever the case, I'm just glad the homeowners had security cameras, or they might never have known someone was wandering around their property that night. Real Victoria is jolted awake at 5 in the morning when her cat suddenly begins hissing at the bedroom window, something it almost never does. By the time she starts recording, the cat goes silent, but its eyes stay locked on whatever is outside. That's when she notices him, a strange figure standing at her window staring inside. She says this creepy-looking man was peering directly into her room. And judging by the footage, she's probably right. But watch closely. At about 4 seconds, he appears to look up, as if he's trying to get the attention of someone in the room above her. And then it gets worse. If you listen carefully at the start of the video, you can hear him shout something, followed by a loud whistle. What exactly he's saying is hard to make out, but it does not sound friendly, and it definitely wasn't meant for Victoria. Eventually, the man steps away from the window and disappears from view, either because he noticed the camera, or because whoever he was calling out to finally responded. Either way, having a complete stranger creeping around your window before sunrise is horrifying. Nothing about this situation feels random. I believe her completely, and I genuinely hope Real Victoria stays safe until her lease is up, because no one deserves to wake up to something like this. Ever get that sudden feeling like someone's watching you? These 3 boys definitely should have listened to that instinct. The uploader writes, "Some dudes go to the Danakil Desert or a park. What is in the first frame?" It starts off innocent enough. 3 kids messing around, getting ready to do some parkour. Normal, everyday fun. But look just beyond them. In the background, up in the trees. There's something there. A tall, dark silhouette is perched among the branches, completely still, just watching. It gives off serious Slenderman energy, the kind of presence that makes the air feel heavier the moment you notice it. And this isn't a one-time appearance. If you keep watching, you can vaguely spot the figure again at a distance. At 1 minute and 43 seconds, it's still standing in the same clump of trees, motionless. Then again, around the 3-minute mark, it's right where it shouldn't be. What is this thing? Just someone lurking? A shadow figure? Or something far stranger that doesn't want to be found? Whatever it is, these boys weren't as alone as they thought. And honestly, nowhere feels safe after seeing something like this. A YouTuber named Chris Javier is filming a casual late-night vlog around his neighborhood when he suddenly gets that unmistakable feeling. The feeling that he's not alone. Moments later, the streetlight beside him begins flickering. Off, on, off again. Chris says it's never done that before. At first, he wonders if it's just his imagination playing tricks on him, but then he decides to test it. He speaks directly to whatever might be controlling the light, and unbelievably, the light responds. Not once, but repeatedly. Here's the first time. The timing feels almost deliberate, like the streetlight is taunting him. Even as Chris walks away, it continues to flicker behind him, almost like it doesn't want him to leave. Coincidence? Or something that simply won't stop watching. But things get much worse. A short while later, a disheveled figure wanders out of the same alley Chris was just standing near. They look completely out of it, muttering, arguing aggressively with someone who isn't even there. It's late, the streets are empty, and the atmosphere is wrong. So Chris decides it's time to go. But to his horror, the stranger starts following him. Then, just as suddenly, the person turns around and shuffles right back into the alley. They stop under the same flickering streetlight and begin shuddering, almost like they're drawn to it, like the light is pulling them in. They start swinging their arms in wide circles, disconnected from reality, oblivious to Chris still recording from a distance, between the streetlight seemingly reacting to Chris's voice, and a disturbed figure emerging from an empty alley only moments later. There are just too many coincidences to ignore, if the paranormal wasn't involved. Then something even stranger was.